Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for today's top 10 of 2024 we're going to be looking at Studio Series figures. But obviously before we go any further, I'd of course like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and indeed a Happy New Year. And in fact, Happy Holidays to everybody who's celebrating, whatever they're celebrating. Just enjoy the time with your family while you can. Right, as I say, this particular top 10 is Studio Series. This was probably the hardest for me, to be fair, because there was just so many. And again, if you're new to the channel or if you've been watching me recently, this is the third top 10 I've done of the year so far, purely because we've just been spoilt, absolutely spoilt this year with figures, with different toy lines, with specialities, etc. I've done Legacy, I've done Legacy specials, this is Studio Series, I've got Takara specials, and then I've got pickups and a few others to do as well. But of course, so this is going to be covering Studio Series, all of the movie franchises. So that's obviously from the first movie in 2007 right up to TFOne. We've also got the Gamers, and we've also, of course, got Studio Series 86, which I'm sure most people will have completely concur and agree with, had an absolute blinding year. Now, I've had the incredible privilege and an honour of being able to be around a lot of these Studio Series 86 figures before they were even out. So for me, it was even more special that way, that I got to experience them and indeed review some, and that'll make you laugh because some of the, well, one of the figures, especially in here, is actually still in its box. But I did do a review on here, as I say, because I was letting that figure very, very early. But as always, I'm going to give two very quick ones that just missed out on the top 10. The first is the Core Class Starscream from the Bumblebee movie. And the main reason for this is it is so clever. It's just so clever. And I know obviously new age figures, etc., are much more clever with the size, etc. But I'm going by mainline figures, mainline budgets. And for a core class figure, the transformation process is intricate, it's clever, it's fun. And as I say, I'm a fan. I'm sure most people are a fan. I'm a fan of the Bumblebee movie, but of course, a huge fan of the opening scene, which everybody loves. And of course, it was great to see these in, I think they were really good iterations of the characters. So nearly made the top 10, but just missed out. I've got no space anywhere here. So let's see how this goes. And then this one nearly made the top 10. And this will shock a lot of people because I know a lot of people really didn't like this figure. But my reasons for liking this figure are probably a bit strange compared to most, because I've still not played the game War for Cybertron. But when I was always collecting. I've been collecting for obviously years and years, but I didn't collect. I mean, literally, I didn't collect any Generations, any mainline figures at all until pretty much these. I got some of the tail end of the Generations figures. What I mean by that is the ones that were actually called Generations in 2010. And then from then they went into, of course, yeah, the Fall of Cybertron. And I got the Fall of Cybertron Starscream figure. So about 2011 when I started picking up and actively picking up what I would class as newer figures at that particular time. All the years before then I was buying G1 and getting Japanese G1 and all that sort of stuff, and not really paying any attention. That's the best way to put it. Not really paying much attention to new stuff that was coming out. But then when I saw the Fall of Cybertron figures, yeah, that's why. So that's exactly why, because I loved the Starscream mold. You look back at it now, and of course it's got its flaws. I'm sure most people will say this has got its flaws as well. But for me, again, it comes down to nostalgia. It comes down to the mood I was in, the feelings that I was feeling, etc., and why I like that. And I do like this figure. As I say, I think it's a good figure, and it's a brilliant update and upgrade because it's huge. Right, now, I've not got my list with me, but I'm putting them in proper orders. Let's hope I can remember them. So, number 10 on my list, and this is one of the ones that's still in its box. It's Studio Series 86 Springer. Now, this guy, if he hadn't had, I'm going to agree with some people, if he hadn't have had two previous releases, he probably would have been much higher on the list. But he still deserves to be on the list because the updates, the upgrades that they made to him, I feel are definitely more relevant. I think they are, there's more than what people realise. Until you get them in your hand and you see the difference in the chest, in the things on the back, the abundance of accessories. Now, I know that a lot of people don't really like when packages are bumped up in price due to accessories, but for this it covered all bases, because Springer obviously, not only, I know he's the 86 version, but of course in the comic he was a wrecker, etc, so all the abundance, excuse me, it's cold in here, all the abundance of accessories for this just really topped it off, and it is just absolutely stunningly great figure. So that was in at number 10. Really liking that. This next one will probably be a bit of a shock as well. And it's all due to the fact that I didn't realise, again, how good it was. It's very basic. It's, like 8 steps, or however many steps to transform. Yes, it's coming off the back of the Barricade mould, which, again, got completely panned and hammered by loads of people. But for me, aesthetics. When this is in alternate mode, it's just so incredible for me. Anyway, I just like the things, and again, it reminds me of being a child and when Hot Rod first come out and Cyclonus and Scourge, and I've said this story loads of times, so I'm apologising if I keep repeating myself. What I like is things that are like out of the ordinary. So exactly that. So of course, as a kid, I loved the Autobot cars. They're amazing, but I'd seen loads of cars, seen cars on the road, etc., and seen the jets in the sky, but I'd never seen anything like Hot Rod. I'd never seen anything like Scourge and Cyclonus. That's probably why I love Cyclonus so much. And that's the same with this. I still think that, again, I've not played the game, so I know a load of people say, if you just looked at the game, you'd have seen exactly what he looks like. But because just the alternate mode looks so good, had to go with him. He's in at number 9. Right. Apologies. Oh wow, I can't be an allergy. It can't be hay fever because it's December. More gamer figures. Number 8. Is it 8? Yes, 10, 9, 8. Yes, it's going to be this again. Brilliant figure. Now this one for me, again, it's just spectacular. But and again, I was lucky enough at MCN to see all the prototypes, all the 3 stages that the figures go through in the actual making of this. So really enjoyed to seeing that, and then actually finally getting a finished article pretty much as soon as I got back from MCN to be able to do the review on as well. And I know loads of people had it, and again, I think the accessories on this just really work. Like it, just really like the figure. Fun transformation, detailed, intricate. Looks great. I'm going to sneeze. I might have to pause this and sneeze, but just a great figure, in my opinion, anyway. So, again, of course, this is just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right. I love the fact that we can all discuss this, why is people's favourites and whose aren't, etc. Moving on to number 7, Transformers 1 Megatron. I like it. I like it. I didn't get to see the movie until I was very late compared to most people, because in the UK we didn't get it until 3 weeks after the US. I wasn't lucky enough to go to any early screenings. I didn't get any chance like that. Just, again, I think that they've done a brilliant job of how he looks in the movie. I like the cannons on it. Okay, it would have been perhaps better to have the big triple cannon, let's be honest. And I'm sure that they might do a different version, or maybe even Takara will do a different version with it. I know DNA upgrade kits, funnily enough, as we speak, are releasing a kit to be able to do that. Just, again, just liked it, just related to it, and yeah, just a really good figure. And I suppose what most people, it depends how you look at it. I know there was too many arguments for the main characters shouldn't be deluxe, they should be bigger, etc. But because we were able to get main characters, this and Prime at deluxe, whereas if you think about the previous however many years, of course, all of Legacy and all of the War for Cybertron, so we're talking at least 5-6 years off the top of my head that they've been, until of course Legacy Optimus Prime, before somebody corrects me, the G1 one anyway, but yeah, they've all been Voyager, so it was nice to get a deluxe, and they did a good job on it. Really liked it as well. Excuse me, I'm talking to Megatrons, straight in at number 6, concept art Megatron. Now, he would have been higher. He would have been a lot higher. He might have even been number 1 if we'd have seen him in the movie, because again, wow. And it makes me more annoyed that we didn't get to see him in the movie. So obviously, again, it's concept art. So there is art. This is an actual figure of a character, of, you know, something that should have been in that movie. And I just think it could have been made that little bit more incredible. And of course, what's a little annoying or upsetting, or whatever you want to word it now, is the fact that we already know that they've said that, well, Hasbro have said anyway, that they're definitely not going to be funding or, you know, putting any money towards any new movies at all in the near future. So I don't think we're ever going to get to see the live action one with this particular character and figure that we all hoped that we might have done. And we're not even going to get a TFOne 2, which is a bit gutting. But yeah, it's just incredible. And I love the fact it's got a secret gun mode, which is brilliant. If you've not seen that, there's an actual how-to video on my channel, how to get him into his secret G1 gun mode, which again is very clever. What a great figure, and he was, I'm sure most people agree with this, because he was very sought after this year. I had so many messages from people saying, can you find me one, can you locate me one, etc., with regards to him. And when I was again at the MCN, they sold out so fast of these. So yeah, really good figure. More movie figures. TF1, this time it's Optimus Prime, or Ryan Pax, whatever you want to call him. Great figure, great figure. All the way that you can articulate him, the way the hip skirt comes up, the way that my friend Brandon posed him and made him look incredible, way better than anything that I could do. Just, yeah, just really, really liked it. And again, having seen the film, I think it's a really good representation of him. I like the fact, I mean, there's a few things that you could pick at it. You could pick, you know, we need a bit of chrome, we need a bit of slightly different colour. But again, I just really enjoyed it. And again, I was lucky enough to be able to experience this particular figure quite early on as well, at the first MCN this year. So I've got good memories from that as well. So there we go. He's there. Right, top 4. I'm sure you can already see a couple of them behind me. I didn't want to do that though. But let's be honest, most of them you're going to guess which some of the top ones are anyway, because I'm sure they're the same as lots of people's. However, number 4 is Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and this guy's brilliant. And the funny thing is that there's still people that moan or say that, you know, everybody's opinion, they were allowed our own opinions, that the alternate mode isn't that great. But if you look at the actual movie, if you look at the cartoon images of the movie when he's in his alternate mode, it's it's a very good representation. And of course, at the time for the movie, I'm sure they didn't have the Volkswagen license at the time, and that's why they couldn't do it. And they've only recently got the Volkswagen license back to do these guys. So, you know, that's why he wasn't. But also, it's just a fun figure. You know, you can have that. It's good that we've got another little debate going. It's good that we've got, instead of, you know, Frenzy and Rumble's colours, etc., it's good that we've got, who do you prefer, the 86 or the Netflix version of Bumblebee? So the fact that we've got that, it's a nice little, it's brilliant. It's what makes this hobby, it's what makes everything about this interesting and indeed fun. So there you go. He's number 4. This guy might surprise people, but again, fantastic figure. The core class was amazing. This is even better. It's like obviously upgraded, upscaled, but the detail on this figure, and if you don't like the movies, that's fair enough, but that's still Shockwave. That to me, this is going to sound weird, but maybe you'll relate to this. It's not too Bayversey. It's not too crazy. It's still more than identifiable as Shockwave, whereas a lot of the figures, a lot of the characters in the Bayverse movies, they do overwork them, whatever word I'm trying to say now. Some people use less flattering terminology. I'm going to say with the fact that this is probably the least most Bayversey figure of a Generation 1 character anyway. And I think you'll probably know what I mean. He's more than identifiable as Shockwave. Easily recognisable, that's probably what I'm trying to say, as Shockwave. And again, the translucent purple on the front, the heads, transformation process, relatively simple. Just a great overall figure, and I absolutely loved him. Right, okay, so there's 2 left. You can see them behind me. This was tough, but I think I've just got to be honest with myself, because they're both amazing. They're both figures that I've wanted for ages. To be fair, the one that the Optimus Prime, obviously, is going to come up in a second, but which number we don't know. But when, of course, we knew that we were going to get a new Optimus, I know this sounds really daft. I don't get excited for Optimus Primes anymore. I've just completely contradicted myself. I'm very excited for the new one of him. What I mean by that is I'm not excited by normal standard Generation 1 Optimus Primes, because I count him as Star Convoy. I'm excited for him because he's something different. But what I mean is normal Optimus Primes I don't normally get that much excited for anymore, because again, the abundance that we've had, etc, etc, etc. So although when I knew he was coming, I thought it was going to be great, but when I knew that this guy was coming, I was more excited, because again, the only, I suppose, Dinobots this sort of size that we've had have been third party for as long, or KO for as long as I've known. So you know, the Power of the Primes ones were okay. I'm going to be honest, maybe that's a bit brutal. They were okay. They weren't amazing. The fact that they combined was just a gimmick in itself, but it wasn't this. This is a simply stunning figure. In fact, I'd probably like to say joint first, to be fair. This is just an amazing figure. Relatively simple, nothing too complex, but again, in my opinion, just a great fun toy. Looks like he did in the movie, transforms pretty well, and of course, completes and scales brilliantly with the rest of the Dinobots. So he is a very close second, hugely close second. And again, could have perhaps been a joint top, to be honest. So number 1, no surprise. I think this is probably going to be number 1 for most people, to be honest. I'm going to try and watch a few other people's top 10s videos as well. But please also let me know in the comments what yours are, because it's interesting to see how we do all think. I just think, yeah, great. It's great. I've got the masterpiece up there, MP44, etc. This is more fun because you can transform him without it taking a day or without, you know, having to sit down to block out half an hour or so, or 10-20 minutes. So you can do this in 4 or 5 minutes, if that. It's brilliant, it's fun, it looks like he did in the cartoon. Articulation is brilliant, the trailer that he came with is brilliant. Evan's little idea of the things where he blasts off the floor was genius. That's the first time I've ever seen or thought of anything like that. I wouldn't have even have dreamt of thinking of something like that. So that's another reason why it had to go in, because it's not just the figure, it's not just Optimus Prime, it's everything that came with him. The fact that you could take the drone out, put it on the top of Roller, you can put the little Titan Masters in Roller. It was the fact that, funnily enough, homaging back to Japanese G1, it was the fact that they made it like a playset again, like what toys should be, like that you can have fun with him. Yes, you can have fun with this guy because he's brilliant. Yes, you can have fun transforming him, but you can also have fun with the trailer, take the parts off, mix and match them all together, do different things with them, put little pilots in. You know, you can have genuine fun with this toy, as well as him just looking fantastic on a shelf as well. So, of course, he had to be number one for me. So that is the third. As I say, I've got the Takara exclusives countdown to come down as well, which includes things like this guy, Ghost Starscream, Super Starscream, the dramatic captures, and a few of the others. I've got a top 10 of them to do, because again, I think they should be kept separately. I've then got a top 10 pickups, and then of course I think I'm going to do a top 10 overall. And again, I'm just listening to loads of people's messaging me on Instagram telling me what top 10s to do, so I'm just trying to do as many as I can. But as always, guys, I really appreciate the support, especially during this time of the year. I know everybody, as I say, super busy. I myself have had a mental day with my lovely day with the family, etc. I hope you guys have too. And yeah, of course, take care. I'll be catching up with you. Don't worry, you'll see quite a bit more of me, if that's good or bad, between now and the new year at least anyway. So I won't say Happy New Year just yet, because you'll see me at least 10 more times before then, maybe. Anyway, guys, take care.